All right, guys, well, I'm so excited about this episode because I have the one and only Ken Coleman here. Ken, thanks for being here.
So nice to be on set. This is lovely. The couch, everything is so lovely.
You love the couch, don't you? It took us about 10 minutes to get Ken situated, just so you all know.
I love the couch. ADHD struggles on the couch. Too many options. Ken, please stay still for the entire shoot. But
That's
this is
our
great.
goal.
That's what we're going to try to do.
So Ken has a nationally syndicated show all about career. It's called The Ken Coleman Show. And yeah, you are America's career coach.
Wow, yeah, somebody gave me that title. But yeah, we're helping folks figure out what they were created to do by identifying what they do best so they can do work they love and create results that matter to them.
I love it. Yeah. Well, we are shifting from career to you, Ken, personally.
Uh-oh.
So this is what I love about my new book, Know Yourself, Know Your Money, is that it's so personal. It's your money tendencies. It's how you grew up, your dreams, your fears. Chris Hogan was on, and we went through all of his money tendencies, gave him a little quiz, and it was fantastic.
Did he pass the quiz?
He passed.
Okay.
He passed.
Right.
We gave him an A.
I'm very nervous right now.
We gave him an A.
Okay.
Okay, so I wanted to bring you on to talk about the money classrooms. And so in the book, I talk about, and not just in the book, but we all know in life how much your past affects who you are today, the good and the bad. We all experience that. And so the money classrooms really talks about how money is communicated. It's communicated verbally and emotionally. So again, just as a recap, there's the anxious money classroom where it's verbally closed, emotionally stressed. The unstable money classroom, emotionally very stressed, but verbally open. So lots of fighting you hear. There's the unaware money classroom, which is emotionally calm, but verbally closed. And then the secure money classroom, and that is verbally open and emotionally calm. So out of the four, boom, boom, boom. I just gave you some options.
Yeah.
How did you grow up, would you say?
Certainly the unaware.
Unaware.
Yeah, unaware.
Classroom number 3.
Yeah, no question. Classroom 3. Mom and dad didn't have much money. My dad, we're talking lower middle class, small church pastor. So, we're not talking about a lot of money. Ministry. But interestingly enough, we just didn't know that. My brother and I, we didn't know. I have a younger brother, 3.5 years younger than me. Now, we didn't have a lot of the things that other people did. We heard about friends going to Disney, and I was like, what is that? We went to battlefields and things of that nature. So, we were on a budget, so we knew there was obviously some difference between our life, but we didn't know how tight it was just because of a lack of income. Yep. Then my mom went to work when I was 12, and so there was no question that when I read the classrooms, we were certainly number 3. Didn't talk about it, though. There wasn't a lot of, hey, we're struggling. Hey, things are really, really tight. We knew that Dad was very frugal before we knew what the word frugal meant. But yeah, not a lot of talking about our financial situation.
Yeah, and I think it's hard, especially if the budgets are more on like the tighter side, if you will, because of income. Because parents, they want to share but don't scare. And so it's a hard balance.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That's a hard balance. So,
it is.
So to say to a 4-year-old, we're struggling, the money's tight, you don't want to do that. That creates anxiety in a child.
Yep.
But how to healthily go about saying, hey, we're going to actually talk about the subject, though, not make it taboo, but do it without freaking the kids out.
Yeah, it's interesting, too. There's another side to this. I'm curious if you see this in your research and in the book. As I was reading through classroom number 3 and thinking about my upbringing, and I'm going to talk to my parents about this next time they're in town, but I also wonder if it's not just I want to protect the kids and not scare them. I think there's a little bit of pride there. I don't think any parent really wants to tell their kids, hey, you know what? We don't have a lot of margin right now. We don't have enough money to be able to do this thing, and this thing. And so I just wonder if that's not part of it as well. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I think so for sure. And I think that there's elements where one spouse will take full control over what's going on so that the other one is unaware. Yeah. And that other spouse, that feels safe to them. We're like, I don't want to know what's going on. And when I talk to couples, that happens too. Where they're like, oh yeah, my wife just takes care of the budget. I don't want to deal with it.
Right.
Because if you knew the truth of it, it might stress you out.
Ignorance is bliss, it's been said. And there's something to that. Yeah, that's really interesting. So I wonder if there's a combination of that, certainly when you're older.
Yes.
I mean, when my brother and I were teens, if we didn't have the money to do something or we wanted a pair of basketball shoes, Dad was pretty clear, hey, can't do that. But there wasn't a lot of discussion. And I just wonder if there's not a sense of, because I'll be honest, I felt that some. I mean, we live in a wealthy community. It's just simple. And we see other kids get certain things. And it's not in our budget. The way we live here at Ramsey Solutions, it's like, if it's not there, I'm not going to just blow everything up to do it.
Right.
And I felt that tinge at times. I wish I could do that. I wish we could take this trip. So I'm just being real. I think that's got to be a part of it.
Oh, I think there's an element for sure. And what's interesting, too, people I've talked to in classroom number 3, a few people, they start having resentment as an adult to their parents because they feel like they've been lied to. And they're like, no, I thought everything was fine. Like, I thought we were all good. I thought they were fine. And now as an adult, I'm realizing, wow, no, my parents, charged everything on credit cards for Christmas. Like, they didn't have the money. Oh, wow, my parents, the vacations we took, they didn't have the money to do that. And now they can't even retire. And I feel like I was lied to. Like, and yours may not be that extreme by any means, but but there's an element of that which is interesting. Even just when you just are verbal and just talk, had that verbal communication, and it's just open and honest, it takes away any of like the questions, I guess, that we have. And if we have questions, we're naturally through our lives going to just create our own answers and tell ourselves our own story. And when it's not true, it kind of throws you off a little bit.
That's right. And I find that kids are tremendously flexible. They adapt so well. And I think they adapt better than we realize. And I'm in the middle of this right now. You've got 3, I've got 3. I've got 2 in middle school, 1 in high school. And I'm learning that there are things I do at times to protect or to shield. And then I realize I don't need to do that. If I talk to them like young adults, they're on their way. Certainly my 15-year-old is, and you let them see the facts and explain it. They may not like it, but they can process it. I don't think we give our kids credit enough to be able to adapt to reality.
Oh, yeah. They're much smarter than we give them credit for. I can say that just with a 5-year-old. But no, so all what you just said, though, I feel like, are you trying to raise your family in that classroom where it's open communication and low stress because it's under control?
Yeah, open communication, but not too much. Because, I'll tell you, all 3 of our kids, like, how much money do you make?
I know.
I'm not telling you.
I know.
Why aren't you going to tell me? Because you'll tell everybody you know.
That's right.
And so understanding that is a private thing. There's multiple reasons. We talk them through that. So we're open to, hey, we're not going to be able to do this. This year, we're not going to do this because we're saving up to do this. And we've had that through our journey. And we've also said, hey, you need to understand something. I've told my 15-year-old, look, I'll match whatever money you save for your car. I will take care of your insurance. You're going to pay for your gas. And you will also pay for 50% of your repairs to your car.
Oh, dang.
Well, look.
Good for you. No, don't defense.
I'm not. But here's the deal. They've got to begin to realize that life happens.
Oh, yeah.
And when life happens, money disappears. And so it can't be, all right, you get a job and you pay for some of the car and then I'm going to bankroll the rest of it. No. If your car breaks down, we're going to look in your bank account and we're going to see what you got. Give me 50%, pal. I'll do the other 50. By the way, you're out of gas. You don't have any money. I'm going to come pick you up. The car stays parked until you have enough money to pay for gas. Because at some point, they've got to appreciate pain, money, and how all that tension that exists. Because even those of us have emergency funds, I got to tell you, I just put money in my wife's Suburban, and we had it, and it was there, and it didn't even faze us financially. But it really bothered me.
It's terrible. I hate car repairs.
I'm so irritated about having to take money out that I save. But they've got to experience that pain.
That's right.
So we are open to an extent of, hey, this is reality. And this is what you're going to have to do. And if you don't have the money, one of the kids got mad, broke their PlayStation thing. Guess what I said? You're going to pay for it.
Yep. Oh,
here's the one, ordered a video game without permission. I get the email. PlayStation says we just ordered a new game. Did you ask me for permission? No. Great. Pony up.
At least your kids, it's on purpose, will randomly get an Apple email. This happens all the time.
Yes.
And it was like, you just bought 1917, the movie.
Right.
It's like some war movie. And I was like, who ordered this?
Yes.
And we had no clue.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they'll just click. Yeah. Oh, it's terrible.
Hey,
I'm like, no.
We have a mutual friend, Bill. I don't even know if you've heard this story of a mutual friend. His kid is playing one of those, I think it's Fortnite, and they tell you, you can get this
armor or whatever.
Armor, skin, weapon or whatever, and they just kind of throw it out there, and the kid's like, oh, sure, I'll buy that. Racked up $700. No clue.
No.
Bill gets an email. He's like, about had a stroke. No. So we got to be careful on this stuff. You know what I mean? Because the kid didn't know. Kid's like, sure, I'll buy it. And it's just ching, 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 ching. So anyway.
It's crazy. It's so
He's going to have to pay that back.
That's so funny.
I think they've got, so we make them pay for things that they broke, that they do, but so that they begin to feel the sting of decisions and what will cost you, not just in restrictions or other repercussions, but financial repercussions. I think that's where we're doing, I think, a good job.
Yes.
So they begin to appreciate money.
No, they do. Well, and there's a level of emotion that they have attached to their own money, right?
Yeah.
And it's like when they feel that car repair, when they feel that PlayStation thing they have to pay back or, buy a new controller or whatever. They feel it so much. And having that emotion early on in life versus the first time they're feeling that at 23.
That's right.
You're setting them up so well. Okay, question. As a parent with older kids, trying to grow up in that classroom number 4, I've realized that when you have open communication about money, you usually take those same habits of communication into other areas of your life, right? Into your marriage, when it's not just about money, but it's about other things. And so for you with kids, do you feel like because you're open about money and open to have these conversations that you're more open in communication about other things in life as a parent?
No question, because, it's a situation where I learned early on that the kids are more aware of things than I realized. You know what I mean? And so I have a little bit of a neurotic fear about my kids feeling like I'm withholding information. I'm not going to call it lying because I would never willfully lie, not even a white lie. But I think as parents, sometimes we get close to that line of a white lie where we say, well, I'm withholding information. And early on, I mean really early on, the kids would ask me some questions and I would just go, boom, here's the answer. And then Stacey would be like, what are you doing? I went, they asked me. And I think that the approach here is that I want them to feel like when they ask me a question that I'm going to always shoot them straight. And a lot of times saying, I don't know is the way to do it. And I think that there have been times where I'll say to them, you can't do this, or I'm not okay with this. And they'll say, why? And I go, I don't even have a really great reason, but I don't feel good about it. And one of these days you're going to make these decisions. And I think what it creates in our home is a bit of back and forth, where it's not just, I said so, no conversation.
Because that was my upbringing.
Yeah.
Like, love you, David, Sharon.
Hey,
but the whole,
too.
No is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
That was told to me all the time. And I'm like, but now as a parent, I'm like, my generation, whatever, all the feelings that I have in life now, I'm like, no, I want to be able to communicate the why behind that.
It's true. See, no is not a complete sentence. Let's destroy that. You ready? I'm going to take this on. Let me tell you why.
Ramsey.
Well, Ken Coleman Sr. too. So we'll lump in my dad as well.
We love our parents.
We love them. We love them. Here's why I don't think no is a complete sentence. It's a complete sentence to you. But the very idea of can I look at these people and really talk to them? The very idea, parents, of communication means the ball is hit across the net and the kid hits it back. Communication is a two-way street. And so in your mind, no, because I said so, you think, well, that's final. I have been consistent and shown authority. Here's what's happening. You've shut your kid down and your kid walks away and you think the narrative's over and it's not over in their head. And you're creating more issues and more questions as opposed to having real communication. So the way I approach it is this: no, here's why. And even if I don't have a great why, I go, it's a feeling. You're just gonna have to trust me. I don't feel good about it. I don't have a bunch of reasons. This could happen, this could happen. But I just don't think it's a good decision. And they don't like it. And they'll ask and keep going back and forth. My no remains a no.
Yes, yep.
But I'm allowing them to weigh in on it. And I joked about this at one of our events recently. On social media, I've just said no social media for the kids until they're out of high school, and they hate it. And they're pushing back big time. And they'll say things like, this is really dumb. Well, the first couple times they did it, I got mad because you disrespected me and I punished. Now they keep pushing. I keep saying no. And when they go, this is dumb, I go, I know. And I'm engaging. I heard you. I hear your feelings. It's still a no. And so I would just a play on that. No is not a complete sentence. It's no. Here's why. It's still going to be no. I know you don't like it. Sorry.
Yep.
How do you feel about it?
It's
okay. It's still no.
Yes, that's right. Let your no be no. Your yes be yes. No. Chip Todd one time said, your kids need to think. Okay, I'm going to butcher the quote. He said, your kids need to think that they can kill you, but you will not be killed.
That is way better than what I just
said.
Isn't
that great, though? And I was like, incredible. Because there's going to be times, I mean, even a toddler fit up until, when they're 15 or something, it's like, no, they have to believe they can, but you will.
Yeah.
But they know you will not be
And let me
capable of
confess
that.
something. I struggled with that for a long time and still do because I want my kids to like me. But the problem is they're not going to like me.
Not all the time.
Most of the time, probably. If you're parenting,
Yes.
there's a lot of not like, but I know they love me.
For sure.
I know there's respect there, even when they don't show it.
Yep.
So you got to get over that, parents.
But I think it is. It's all that classroom floor. It's that open side of communication where a lot of parents don't engage sometimes. And sometimes you don't have the emotional capacity. Sometimes you don't have the time, all of it, but pushing in and having that dialogue. Because when you have dialogue in other areas of your life, money will just go right into play in the ebb and flow.
That's right.
Ken, thanks for being here.
Oh,
I
it's always
love
fun.
hearing all about how you grew up and kids today and all of it. So
Thank you for having me. You're doing great work. This is such a great show.
Thanks, Ken. Okay, where
really
can everyone
fun.
find you?
KenColeman.com. We have a lot of free resources, a lot of great paid resources, and of course, the Ken Coleman Show. Anywhere you want to watch it, YouTube, podcast, SiriusXM, and your local talk radio show.
It's all there. Yep, all career stuff, you guys. Go to him, Ken Coleman. Thanks again, Ken.
Thanks for having me.